Football Cup for Inter-House Football goes to Ashoka House. Bhati Cup for Inter-House Cross Country goes to Pratap House. Parikshit Singh Bhati Cup for Inter-House Athletics goes to Pratap House. Sri Raghubir Saratwat Cup for Inter-House Basketball Cup goes to Prithviraj House. Sri S. Kumar Cup for Inter-House Story Enactment goes to Shivaji House. Sri Suresh Mathur GK Cup for Inter-House Quiz goes to Shivaji House. Dr. Shahnawaz Khan Cup for Inter-House Dance goes to Ashoka House. Sri Shankar Singh Adhikari Cup for Inter-House West Music goes to Shivaji House. Chauhan Cup for Inter-House Indian Wrestling goes to Prithviraj House. With that, we are through with the prize giving ceremony. Thank you, sir.
As I have come to this institution of learning, let me begin with a prayer to the goddess of learning. घंटा शूल हलेन शंख मुशले चक्रम धनुषायकम हस्ताबदई दददिंग नांच विलसत सीता सुतल्य प्रभाम गौरी देह समुद्रभाम तिनैनाम आधार भूता महाम पूर्वा मत्र सरस्वती मनुभजे शुंभाष दैत्यार्दनी. The chairman and members of the governing body, honored guests, teachers and students of the Ummed International School. It is indeed a pleasure to come to an institution of learning, for as John Masefield had said, that there are few things on earth more beautiful than a university. And let me tell you, the place where you are located, Arbudaranya, it is the place that housed, because Guru Vasishtha was born in this region and his birthplace was known as Vasishtpur for a very, very long time, until for the last 2000 years it is now known as Basantgarh, which is near Pindwada or Ajari. Guru Vasishtha had his ashram on Mount Abu, which has been the pride of place for the entire world, and particularly India after the Uttaranchal Pradesh. And there, 5,200 years ago, Vedavyas, the descendant of Guru Vasishtha, who wrote the one parv of Mahabharat, quotes in it, Tato gachait dharmagya himvat sutam arbudam prithvivyam yatra vaichidram purvama siddha yudhishthara tatrashmai ashramasya vasishtasya trishu lokeshu vishutah rajnimekam goshahastram phalam labbhet. It means go ye Yudhishthir to that place, to Arbud, the son of the Himalayas. It is located at a place where formerly there was a big pit in the surface of the earth. And on top of that hill is the ashram of Guru Vasishtha, which is renowned in all the three worlds. And by spending one night at this ashram, you get the punya of donating 1,000 cows. And let me tell you one more thing. That does not surprise us Indians, but it surprises the entire world when I say so in my speeches abroad, that just below the Vasishtha ashram is the ashram of Gautam Rishi. He too was a Vedic sage. और उन्होंने अपने जल कुंड को अभिमंत्रित किया है. And resultantly, in the summers, in the month of Chaitra, when the kund is absolutely dry, on the appointed day, at the appointed hour, as if somebody has opened a hose of water, the whole kund becomes full in no time. I have gone and witnessed it myself, because it has been abhimantrit by the Guru. 1 hour thereafter, the kund of the Parashar Rishi ashram in the Sirnua hills of Sirohi gets full. And an hour later, the riverbed at Posalia in Gautam Rishi temple gets full. And so 3 lakhs of people of the Meena community assembled there for their annual mela, annual fair. And in 2.5 days' time, the water vanishes. This is the beauty of India. This is the power of our religion, not seen in any other part of the world. Even when we come to education, I remember the year 1993. Satya Sai Baba was one of the greatest spiritualists of the south of India at that time, and the chief scientist of Russia. Mind you, he was then matching the great might of the world with the United States. He came to meet Satya Sai Baba to understand what is the strength of India, what is the strength of the spirituality of India. Satya Sai Baba was extremely kind to me. He always called me Bangaru, which in his Telugu language meant gold. He said, Bangaru, come here, we too will go and meet this fellow. I said, yeah. The #1 scientist of Russia was called for an interview with Satya Sai Baba, and Baba made me sit there in that room. And this international scientist said, the #1 scientist of Russia, okay, what is it that you have in India which is something very, very special? And what do you think, how does it match with the knowledge of the West or with the knowledge of Russia? And Satya Sai Baba just turned around and said that your best of scientists and educationists are amateurs in front of the sadhus of India. That fellow was absolutely startled. He said, what nonsense. So then Satya Sai Baba told me, Bangaru, you make him explain. I don't know so much of English. You talk to him. I said, okay, I'll do. So I told that #1 scientist of Russia, I said, you take one incident of an Indian saint in the hills of Abu, to which I am witness, not so very long back, 1986. And here we are in 1993, just 7 years later. I said, one of my Jagirdars, Kumar Jhalam Singh of Tokra, it's a village on the western slopes of Mount Abu at the foothills, towards Anadra. And Jhalam Singh just felt that, the new coming up new crop of people who were getting educated and all had little less respect for the Jagirdars and for the older generation was full respect. So he gave a little bit of his mind to one of the youngsters of the Rabari clan, you better behave yourself and fall in line. The fellow bowed before him and paid his obedience, but he went home, collected milk from there, about 1 or 2 kilos, and walked up the hill of Mount Abu to the cave of the saint who was residing there. It is known as the Satka Mata cave. Many of you people can go and see it there. Jalam Singh felt that this fellow, I think, is not, fully swallowed the pill that I have given him, and I need to teach him a lesson again. So he picked up his rifle and walked up the hill. When he was approaching near to the cave, this boy was doing all the menial work for cleaning the cave and throwing the dirt out and all this and that. And he certainly saw Kumar Jalam Singh climbing the hill. So he went inside and caught the feet of the Guru and the saint, and he said, "My God, he's coming, I'll be dead." So the saint came out of the cave and he said, "Jalam Singh, isko koi aisi karne ki avashyakta nahi hai." And Jalam Singh was fully drunk. So he thought that it is because of this sadhu that this fellow is misbehaving with me and not carrying out my orders. He had a loaded rifle, so he put on the bolt and fired it straight on at the chest of the sadhu. The whole hill of Mount Abu reverberated with the blast of the rifle, high-powered rifle. And what came out of the barrel was not a bullet, but water that poured out. What science can prove this? Which scientist can match this in the world? The Russian scientist fell at my feet and I said, "You fall at the feet of Satya Sai Baba." He said, "We have no match to it. This is India." And this is what I want you also to understand. I'm sure Bhati Sahib is doing a great job. He himself is a doctor and an educationist. And as I see it, he and the family are committed to this branch of education and learning. That's extremely good. My congratulations, and I wish you all the best. But at the same time, we must tell to the world what India is, something superior than what we try to learn from the West. With these words, because I'm sorry for being late, I take leave of you, and I wish this institution every success, and I want that Mount Abu's entire Budaranya region. And mind you, there's another thing that is a feather in your cap, Bhati Sahib, that your institution is located at the place where the mighty Chandravati Mahanagari existed till 1395 AD. It was the governor of the Mauryan Empire who laid the foundations of this great Mahanagari. It became so big that it housed 999 temples. The saying goes that 999 jhalar bajti thi. And so great was the thought process of the rulers of that time, or I'll call it the socialism of the princes, that the kings of Chandravati had ordered that every newcomer to the town of Chandravati will be given 1 brick free per house and 1 silver coin. And therefore, he could build his new house, his establishment, and settle himself. That was the socialism of that time. Wonderful, isn't it? Better than the socialism of today. And Chandravati Mahanagari was the second largest city of Western India. If you see those temples, thousands of them, 999, all of white marble, exquisite carvings. It is unfortunate that the railway line was laid here in 1880, and then at that time people did not realize it, and it was all pilfered, so very little of it remains today. But you see the etchings, you see some old photographs. The first camera came to India in 1845, and that was brought by Maharaja Ram Singh Ji of Jaipur, who was the Bhanej of Sirohi state. And I tell you, I have seen the photographs of the original Somnath temple